Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elevate Your Business. I'm Ed Jarecki, and I'm thrilled to guide you through today's episode, designed to inspire and empower you on your journey to business success. Thank you for joining us and making this part of your entrepreneurial journey. Elevate Your Business is crafted for business owners, professionals, and budding entrepreneurs eager to gain practical wisdom and insights. During each episode, we tap into the experiences of those who have navigated the path of success in their businesses and lives, aiming to equip you with the tools you need to thrive. Today's guest personifies this mission. So make yourself comfortable, unwind, and let's extend a hearty greeting to our incredible guest today, AJ Klenk. Today, we're thrilled to have AJ, founder of Capstone Companies, the nation's largest privately owned multifamily brokerage, with a staggering $4 billion in sales for 2022. AJ's dedication to core values like team before self and a relentless passion for improvement has not only shaped his business, but also offers invaluable insights for anyone looking to thrive in their multifamily investment space. As AJ joins us on the show, he'll shed light on what success means to him personally and how his definition has evolved over time, as well as one or two of his top challenges and the lessons learned associated with them. And finally, we'll explore how AJ has leveraged innovation in his business and other work to overcome challenges and achieve his goals. So join me in welcoming AJ Klenk as we embark on another incredible episode of Elevate Your Business. Without further ado, welcome to the show, AJ. It is wonderful to see you again. How are you doing?
Hey, Ed, doing great. Appreciate you having me. Life has been good. Today is, what is it, Thursday the 20th. Just landed from Atlanta. Was in Costa Rica the last 2 weeks with my family, and it's been full speed ever since I got back. Sitting here talking to you from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Outstanding. I love it. So Costa Rica for 2 weeks. That had to be a great adventure.
Yeah, my family's fallen in love with traveling to Costa Rica. We make it down there a couple times a year, so it was good. A week on the beach, did some offshore sailfish fishing, caught a marlin.
Wow, congratulations.
First time, yeah, it was one of my dad's bucket list items to go catch sailfish. So flew him down for a few nights and was able to check that box and spend a week up in the mountains, horseback riding with my 4 and 8-year-old, climbing waterfalls and just seeing nature. So it was a great time to get away with the family.
That is awesome. Congratulations for that. We all need that from time to time, don't we?
Absolutely, got to have it.
So to start with, for our audience, could you share a little bit more about yourself and your business?
Sure, yeah. So, just quick background. I grew up in southern Michigan in a rural community called Jackson. Had about 1,000 acres around me. Grew up in the woods. I grew up using my hands. Pretty blue collar upbringing. I had a goal of going to University of Michigan. Ultimately, made it there after applying 4 times and getting rejected the first three. Ultimately, moved down to Charlotte, North Carolina. I had a degree in biopsychology and cognitive science. Really, just interest in psychology and how that interacts with biology. And really what's driven me into commercial real estate is my passion for giving back and making a difference. I built a school in Bolivia as a senior in high school, a leader of a nonprofit group called Build On. And that was pretty transformational for me. I was able to build a school in a village that did not have a school, had about 1,000 people living there, but no schools. And so just being able to sort of triangulate how bringing education to that community would really transform the families, the kids, the future generations. It's really night and day. Instead of having somebody go to La Paz, the capital, without an education and then ultimately not getting employed, now we can change that, right? Now you head to La Paz with an education, you can actually get a job as opposed to just adding to the shanty towns around La Paz. So that's really what's driven me in life. I like, international travel and helping others. It really started Googling when I was in Charlotte. How do you become a self-made millionaire? At that point, 99 of 100 made it through real estate. And so that was all I needed to know, set off and started a few real estate companies, ultimately started one called Capstone Companies with a couple partners, Brian Ford and Bo McIntosh. It grew to be the largest privately owned multifamily brokerage in the country, 20 some offices, 130 employees, billions in sales, and 400 plus closings per year. So that was a really great experience in learning multifamily, learning how to build a business, how to build a culture, how to build teams. That's really not my primary business now. I sort of parlayed that into an investment company called Catalyst Capital Partners, which takes up most of my time now. We develop multifamily communities throughout the Southeast and Sunbelt, conventional apartments, build to rent communities, and a nationwide active adult brand called Chorus. And the other thing that keeps me busy outside of just life and family is I started a hospitality company about 4 years ago. So building restaurants and cocktail lounges, and started with the Goodyear House in Noda here in Charlotte. I have 3 restaurants in Charlotte. I have an executive team of 5 that runs that business. I'm not that involved. And yeah, opening a couple more now. So we'll have six or seven by the end of the year here in the Carolinas.
Yeah, we were talking about as we got into the show and prepping about how busy you are, and a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners are out there. It's never one thing, is it? There's always multiple things that we're trying to juggle, and of course, balance that with our family time, which you obviously have been able to do. 2 weeks in Costa Rica is an excellent example of that. So,
Yeah,
outstanding work.
thank you.
So, through all that experience, how do you define success today?
Success to me is better today than I was yesterday and better tomorrow than I am today, simply put. And I think that carries on to all facets of life. It's much bigger than that. I personally thrive off of mentoring others and helping identify talent and helping young and old people grow. I love building teams. I love putting people in positions where they can thrive and making a difference, making an impact in their lives, lives of others through that. We have nonprofits for all of our businesses as well. I build schools still around the world. I built 7 now, funded 7 through my nonprofits. I'm taking a team to Nicaragua to build another one in November. So it's a flywheel of all the things that I'm interested in. And I think that combined with a happy household is that success. It doesn't feel too busy or too much when you're enjoying everything that you do.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So, with that, how has your definition evolved over your career?
Oh my gosh, yeah, in a big way. When I moved to Charlotte, I didn't have a dime in my pocket. I had loans out to my dad, to my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, while I was starting these real estate businesses. And success at that point was, like in the recession, closing one transaction, which I had a year where I only closed one, but I was, carrying a part-time job. So it was really just keeping the lights on while I was building towards the future that I had envisioned, which is more so where I'm at now, where I can control my time and my lifestyle and have flexibility to have homes in different locations, just have ultimate flexibility with what I want to do in work and life. So it's definitely changed a lot. We probably got 1.5 billion in projects at Catalyst right now. So success is much different than when you're trying to buy your first rental property and just keep the lights on.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, that journey is always wrought with lots of challenges and opportunities. What are one or two of those key challenges and the associated lessons learned?
Yeah, so my dad always told me that one thing about life is nothing can replace hard work, right? And so I always strove to work harder than the person next to me or anybody around me. I do know that there's always going to be somebody that's going to be working more or working harder. I think over time I've done that, been relentlessly striving to improve. I have a passion for improvement and for being creative and looking around the corner and seeing what's next. I'm very much so more the visionary on our executive team. And I think what that's taught me now is really just the importance of bringing people along with you. You cannot have exponential success without having a great team around you, supporting you and supporting them. So it was, like I said, it was just how do I keep the lights on for myself initially? I didn't have time to think about others as much. And now it's thinking about others before myself that will really get the organization where it needs to go.
Well said. Thank you. That was an excellent definition and explanation. And so, carrying through to the next question, innovation. It involves people, process, and technology wrapped in the right type of culture. And you've kind of alluded to that culture that's so important to the success of your businesses. So, how do you see innovation driving your business today?
Yeah, a couple examples. We implemented a system called EOS, the Entrepreneur's Operating System, about 5 years ago in one of my businesses, which I describe it as a Six Sigma or lean manufacturing, which usually applies for large corporations, but for small businesses. And so, just an example of going out there and seeing what's out there to help you follow proven methods in business. I don't know if I'd call that innovative as much as I'd call that just being entrepreneurial and having your eyes wide open. Innovation, however, how do you make a dollar out of 15 cents, right? And you do that by being creative, going where the puck's going before it's there, About a year and a half ago, I started working with a group in Sri Lanka who's been phenomenal, taken over a lot of our marketing processes at Capstone. I've now implemented them at Catalyst in a number of ways. So, just looking at the world as a much flatter place. And I think it is quite accessible now to find great resources offshore, as an example. So, trying to be a thought leader in my space too. In commercial real estate, it's one of these industries where it's traditionally just a lot of old white men in suits, right? So there's been a lot of success in that industry without marketing, without innovation. It's just sort of doing the same thing over and over. And I think with the innovation in the world now, what we're implementing is a lot more thought leadership, a lot more AI and technology, virtual walkthroughs when we're selling projects to investors. And yeah, just trying to take in as many ideas as possible, like a scientist may, and leave the bad ones and take the good ones. So it's constantly evolving, constantly researching, constantly taking notes and deleting them and keeping the good ones. So
And so you've alluded to the fact that a lot of the innovation is around from a real estate perspective. There is kind of a stable component to it, but there's also some connectedness to it. Virtual tours, being able to connect with residents of homes, things like that. But there's also another side to innovation when it comes to real estate, and a lot of that has to do with the need for affordable homes, the need to address some of the climate impacts around the world, hurricane-proof homes, more fireproof homes, things like that. Do you see any of that within the real estate industry? I see spots of it, but I'm not seeing it really hit critical mass to a point where everybody's really shifting to that model. Any thoughts around it?
Mm. Yeah, specifically, build to rent's become quite popular over the last couple of years. We actually won Apartment Community of the Year for the first build to rent community in Charlotte. And build to rent, for those who don't know, is what you use to describe a rental townhome community or a rental single family detached home community. And in that space, you've seen, I think that's really helped to catalyze more innovation in commercial real estate and the residential world that I'm in. So things like the virtual tours, being able to sign your lease without setting foot on the property, doing it all electronically, being able to show yourself a unit on your own schedule by yourself without a leasing agent or property manager showing you through. The ability to change your temperature in your unit to save on utility costs. There's some innovation in the management side of things. So for example, a lot of property management companies are starting to look at the roles that their managers play on site, and they're finding that they can move some of their assistant managers who handle a lot of bookkeeping activities off of the site, which saves the property and the property owner $50,000 to $100,000 a year. They move those folks off site. Now they can focus on bookkeeping day to day. They don't get distracted by tenants. They can even move it offshore. It allows the on-site staff to be totally focused on selling as opposed to bookkeeping and collecting checks and such. So I do think there's quite a bit. There's also a good bit of standardization in building starting to happen. There's a group called Summit Builders, another one called Middleburg. We work with both of them, and they have prototype buildings that are able to shorten the construction duration in half and cut your costs substantially by just replicating the same building. So I do see a lot more, and I'm sure it's only going to continue.
Absolutely, I agree. Composite modular components is one of the areas that I know East Coast there's some, and I think it's Minneapolis, St. Paul, there's a couple of two or three different companies that they're manufacturing walls, ceilings, floors, roof trusses, etc., all out of higher quality, better R value. It's more durable, lighter weight, but also they're developed in such a way where they kind of click together like Legos, and they've got basic modular components to them, or you can customize those components. And
Mhm.
they're safer, they're stronger, there's so much more value, and it reduces the time to put them together up to 75% once you've got the right team in place and training. So it also starts to address the shortage of help out there to get that work done.
100%.
So if you were to offer our audience one thing that they really must consider as part of their business journey, their journey to success, what would that be?
One thing, I'm a talker, so I'm not sure I have one, but
You can offer
uh,
more than one.
yeah, like I said, I think it's team before self. Checking your ego at the door, being inquisitive, being shameless in your pursuit of new relationships and new ideas, not being afraid to ask questions, over and over and question everything, not being afraid to throw a million ideas at the wall in your teams and knowing that half of those are probably going to stink and maybe there's 10% of them that might make it, but at least you're bringing solutions to the table. I really think another lesson my dad taught me was to treat everybody that you come across with the same level of respect, from the janitor to the fast food worker to the homeless person, all the way up to the CEO or the entrepreneur. And I just think that's just such a great habit to get in. And you see folks who don't embody those same characteristics or that same practice. And I think their shelf life is probably going to end up being pretty short. The number of friends that they'll attract and keep will continue to dwindle. And so, yeah, just keep your head up and keep doing the right thing over and over with high level of integrity and don't ever give up, man. Don't ever freaking give up, ever.
I love it. Some wonderful words of wisdom. Any final thoughts?
No, just appreciate the opportunity to be on. Always happy to speak when folks invite me for this sort of thing, and happy to speak to others who might have interest and be a mentor for anybody. I think anything's possible, and you got to put your head down, man. I'm 40 years old now, and I've got two boys. I don't have the same flexibility that I used to have with my schedule, but I was telling my dad 2 nights ago, I probably went 15 years sleeping 5 hours a night, which I don't think is healthy now, I've deduced. But at the same time, I was able to squeeze a lot more work in than my peers. And I think it's critical to do that when you have the time to do it, which is typically through college and those 5 to 10 years after college. You're really setting a foundation. I think that's a key time in folks' careers where they can really start to distance themselves from the pack.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, AJ. And I want to thank you all for joining us today. And a special thank you again to AJ Klenk for sharing his insights, experiences, and success tactics with us. We hope this conversation has left you inspired and motivated to embrace the challenges of entrepreneurship with vigor, innovation, and adaptability. Remember, success comes in many forms. It's essential to define it for yourself, but take the lessons shared by AJ to heart as you navigate your own entrepreneurial journey. Embrace change, seek out opportunities for growth, and always be willing to adapt to the ever-evolving landscape of business. Thank you once again to our phenomenal guest speaker, AJ Klenk, and thank you all for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next time as we continue exploring the stories behind incredible entrepreneurs. Stay resilient, stay innovative, and have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thank you.